Today we will do the second cause and effect lesson. We are going to answer some questions on the passage, the Dust Bowl. Then you will be asked to do a sorting activity in Showbie. But let's first talk about what is cause and effect. Cause and effect is when one thing happens due to another thing happening. Let's pull up the anchor chart for cause and effect. The cause is why something happened, and the effect is what happened. So the effect was that I woke up late. What was the cause? My alarm clock didn't go off. I trained and practiced every day, or I didn't do well on my spelling test. Well, the cause would be your alarm not going off. It would affect that you woke up late for school. Let's look at the second one. The cause is I didn't study my spelling words. Well, if you don't study your spelling words, the effect would be that you didn't do well on your spelling test. Finally, the effect. I ran the fastest mile in PE class. The cause would be that you trained and practiced every day. Let's read the article, The Dust Bowl. While we're reading it, let's think about what were some of the causes of the Dust Bowl? What effect did dry, hot weather have on the crops and plants? What health problems were caused by the Dust Bowl, and what effect did the cool fall rain have in 1939? Let's first go to the article. The Dust Bowl. The Dust Bowl happened during the 1930s. The Dust Bowl was a time when the Great Plains area was struck by many dust storms. Kansas, Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico were hit the hardest by these dust storms. Dust storms are storms where large gusts of winds blow loose soil or sand into the air. This usually happens in deserts or places that have very dry air. In the late 1800s, people moved west to the Great Plains to settle and farm the area. They did very well for a long time. Then in 1931, droughts and extremely hot weather hit the area. Droughts are long periods of time without rain. This made for very dry air. The Great Plains were hit by strong, dry winds along with droughts. This made for desert-like conditions. Bare farmland also caused the Dust Bowl. Bare farmland is soil or dirt that is not covered by plant or grasses. Plant, crops, and grasses provide cover for the soil like a blanket. The roots of the plants also help hold the soil in place. When the droughts hit, it caused most of the crops, plants, and grasses to die off. Once the crops had died off, there was nothing left to hold in the soil in place. In 1934, bad dust storms started. On April 14, 1935, the worst dust storm occurred. This storm was called the Black Blizzard. The Dust Bowl caused many problems. The droughts and damaged farmland made it hard to grow crops. Very few families were able to make a living or have food. Many families moved out of the Great Plains area to California for a better life. The Dust Bowl also caused many health problems for people breathing in dust. Breathing all the dust caused people to have pneumonia, strep throat, and other lung infections. Many people died from these health issues. It finally started to rain during the fall of 1939 in the Great Plains region. Rain and cooler weather helped keep the dust down and ended the terror of the Dust Bowl. Let's go back to our pre-reading questions. The first question it asked us, what were some of the causes of the Dust Bowl? If we go back to our article, we can see in the beginning of our article, it stated that in 1931, droughts and extremely hot weather hit the area. Droughts and long periods of time without rain. This made for very dry air. The Great Plains were hit by strong dry winds along with droughts. This made for desert-like conditions. So the droughts and extremely hot weather and having long periods of time without rain made for desert-like conditions. Bare farmland also caused the Dust Bowl. That is when soil or dirt is not covered by plants or grasses. So those were two things that caused the Dust Bowl. What effect did dry, hot weather have on the crops and plants? Well, we had just said that dry winds along with droughts, this made for desert-like conditions. What health problems were caused by the Dust Bowl? If we go back down, it said that the Dust Bowl also caused many health problems for people breathing in dust. Breathing all the dust caused people to have pneumonia, strep throat, and other lung infections. Finally, what effect did the cool fall rain have in 1939? If we look at the end of the article. In 1939, the Great Plains region, the rain and cooler weather helped keep the dust down and ended the terror of the Dust Bowl. And finally, determine which part of the sentence is the cause and which is the effect. Pause the video after listening to the sentence to think about what is the cause and what's the effect. I got a tummy ache when I ate too much ice cream. Anne had cake for dessert because it was her birthday. Pause the video to think about what is the cause and what is the effect. Let's reread the sentences. Remember, we were putting the cause in purple and the effect in red. So, by eating too much ice cream, I got a tummy ache. It was her birthday, so Anne had cake for dessert. So the cause was it was her birthday, and the effect was they had cake for dessert. Go ahead into the Google Classroom to complete this cause and effect sorting activity in Shobi, excuse me.